All right, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I've been wanting to put more videos on this channel lately, but here I am only posting when the stuff matters. So I'd like to just kind of get into it because there's a lot to talk about. And this is kind of going to be more of me ranting and venting than it is going to be like, here are the facts, here's what's going on. What do we do from here? There is going to be that, but there's also going to be like some personal venting here because been having a really tough time with this now that we're this far into this weird problem that we've had with Konami here in the last few months, or really like the last like month or two. So I kind of want to start by recapping what's going on with Konami and their involvement with these older formats that have kind of resurged as of recently. So over the last few years, obviously, some of these older formats have surged to the point where there's now events being held both by Konami, like Konami sanctioned events, and also kind of like your grassrooters or like E3 a little bit, and we'll mention them a little bit later. But just like folks who really are taking the format from the ground up and they're building on it. Edison and GOAT format especially have been huge with that. Arbet or not Arbet, but Redo format is becoming one of those formats. Hat format has been up there too. So what we have in front of us here is kind of like the main update that we've had now before Nationals or the NAWCQ, where we got the latest update on Time Wizard events and how they were going to work forward. I talked about this in my last video, but I'm going to reiterate it here really fast. So I'm just going to go straight to the updated part and I'm going to read this again. So it says Time Wizard events will use the game mechanics and card text of the area in question at the NAWCQ 2025. This is an update to an earlier FAQ or FAQ. In the future, we will offer the TCG version of Yu-Gi-Oh's Master Duel's time travel format. So we're going to call that time travel format from now on, which uses current mechanics / card text, but older card pools. Both Time Wizard and time travel will be offered at the OTS level. This is essentially the pinnacle of our update at the moment. Don't have any other updates from Konami. Everything past this that we're going to be talking about is I guess one of the things that happened at Nationals that I wasn't there for, and probably thank God I wasn't there for, because I would have gotten furious thinking about it and seeing it. But also a lot of this is just kind of part of it is speculation, part of it's not speculation. So right now that's just kind of where things are at. A lot of people, including myself, were very worried about the OTS store level. For the people who can't travel that much but still want to play on paper, going to your OTS store, especially if they hold Time Wizard events, is absolutely perfect. It's a very, very perfect medium. So I kind of want to, that's kind of where things were at. That's kind of how things were left. I was very skeptical about this paragraph because it says, in the future, we will offer the TCG version of the time travel format, which uses the current mechanics and card text and such. I was very skeptical about this because I was like, so in the future, how far in the future is it going to be? What is it going to look like? Where is it going to be offered? Where and how is it going to be offered? Those were things that were really pinnacle for me, I think, in my last video, because it could be in any fashion. It can be all the way down to the OTS store level, where the OTS stores can no longer do Time Wizard. They have to do time travel. It could be at regional events. It could be at YCSs. Like, where is this going to go? I think my interpretation of that video, if anybody doesn't know what that is now, we're gonna go into that in just a second. My interpretation a month ago, when I made my first video going through all of the updates, this was, I predicted that eventually the time travel format would replace the Time Wizard, the Ultimate Time Wizard event. So it'd be like, instead of an UTW, it would be a UTT, an Ultimate Time Travel format. So instead of doing Time Wizard, Ultimate Time Wizard would be Edison, with the 2010 card text and mechanics. It would be botched and it'd be basically dead, and we would have the time travel format. It appears that is true here. It appears that this is very true. So we have a Twitter post or an X post from E3, who is very huge in, he's one of the biggest Edison content creators. Huge facilitator for the format. He creates his own events called the RBETs, or the really big Edison tournaments, and they're fantastic tournaments. I've never been to one, at least not yet. I'd love to go to one soon. And he, as far as I've heard, he gets everything done in one day. So like he plays 8 or 9 rounds of Swiss, top 16, all done in a day. It's a long day, yes, but it's all done in a day. So it's ran very efficiently. Everyone there, I've never heard a soul there who doesn't have a good time. If you can ever get yourself out to the RBETs, I swear by them. Do them. I haven't even been to one yet, and I swear by them. Anyways, though, E3 shared a post he shared a couple of posts, from one from Discord and then one from a Facebook channel, or Facebook post from Epik Cards and Games, which, for those who don't know, there's actually a YouTube channel that features a lot from Epik Cards and Games. It's I forget his name, but it's the Legacy Legacy Retro Yu-Gi-Oh YouTube channel. He posts videos all the time. I don't know why his name is, I don't know, it's Oscar, I think his name is. He posts videos over there all the time. He's posting multiple videos up a day showing matches and stuff for multiple retro formats. Like he does GOAT every once in a while. He's done Hat, tons of Edison, redo format. Like he is all over the board, and it's such good content. He does a really good job with his channel. I'll leave a link to his channel below, as well as E3's, of course. But anyways, there's a post here, and this is the initial post. It doesn't look like this this version of the post is up anymore. They have a different post instead. No comments are allowed because it looks like they trashed on the, a lot of people were trashing him for what's going on. And people really shouldn't trash the store. I really don't think they should trash a store like that, because they're just doing what they have to do to keep their store status, keep their official tournament status. You should never knock them for that. But anyways, it reads, according to Konami's official operations document for Tier 2 events, the Time Wizard format is no longer recognized as an official tournament format as of July 10th. It has been replaced by the new time travel format for Tier 2 plus events. As a result, we are updating our weekly schedule effective Wednesday, July 16th as follows. I'm not going to go through that. No need to go through that. But this is a huge thing I want to talk about that's going to couple along with something else that I kind of want to discuss and just explain what happened. Kind of give like the TLDR instead of watching it, because I actually watched it myself. But anyways, with this, so what it sounds like is that for the regional level, or like the OTS Store Championship, because I believe that is a Tier 2 event, it sounds like that Konami is no longer recognizing the Time Wizard format any further. They are just recognizing the time travel format that will be played for those events. So it sounds like if you go to a regional, or you go to a YCS and you want to play on that Ultimate Time Wizard event, or you want to play in the pods and try and win a mat, you're going to have to do it under the time travel format rules, and not the Time Wizard format rules, where it's the game that we've all known and loved for the last 15 or 20 years, depending on the format you play. That's what this sounds like here. It sounds like some people are saying that it could mean that it could impact the OTS stores. I don't really know. I don't really know if that's the case here. It's so hard to tell because we don't have anything concreted in stone outside of this, which is from Konami, from Nationals. It doesn't sound like that's going to be changing. It sounds like the OTS level is going to be okay. That's kind of what I get from this very last sentence here, is that they will both be offered at the OTS level, which kind of makes me think of like the Heart of the Underdog stuff, where, hey man, if you can do the Heart of the Underdog tournament, then great, go and do the Heart of the Underdog tournament. Go for it. Blow your socks off. It kind of sounds like the same thing here, where like you got people who want to play Time Wizard, fire it off. Go right for it. No problem. It sounds like that's still going to be the case for the OTS store level, because they had to very much clarify that here and be transparent, because they weren't at first. So I don't know if this is from like a content creating standpoint, where they're really shifting over to the time travel format. I don't know if it's got something to do with how their store works, or how Konami works in terms of like players getting their wins and losses with their ranking and stuff with their player IDs. I don't really know about all that stuff. I'm not going to really look into that kind of a thing either, because I think it's just one of those mysteries where like For me, it's better left unsolved. I feel that if I were to solve that mystery, I'm not getting anything more or anything less out of it. If I'm being very honest with myself about that. So personally, I can understand why a store, if they decide to change it, why they decide to change it. I totally get it. You know, you want to be able to keep your official tournament store status. To me, it makes sense. To me, it makes sense. I don't think there's really anything else about that you could really say. So it is what it is in that case. However, I think there's going to be some kind of a stand between players and there's going to be some kind of a stand between players and the stores, where the stores that are only going to be looking to do this from now on, it's going to be a little tough to work with that now, because I wouldn't go to that OTS store anymore. Like, how many people are gonna do that? You know, where they're just saying, "Oh, you're not offering Time Wizard." Okay, well, I guess we just don't play here, and then that affects the store's bottom line, anyways. To some extent, anyways, it affects that bottom line, because now they're not getting those players that they would like to get, because they're not hosting those Time Wizard format tournaments anymore. I don't know if this is really ever going to happen on a store level, where they're just going to make a complete switch they're just going to make a total switch to time travel formats. I don't think that'll ever be the case. However, it does leave one wondering, because now this is a thing, and again, I find this more expected. It's a shock value that it happened, but I'm not terribly surprised that we do have a shift. I think this is an expected shift from tier 2 plus events moving from Time Wizard to time travel. I don't think that that's terribly surprising. I think that's something that could totally be expected. But now this is the part, and like I said in the last video, and I'm going to say it again here, when does the ball stop rolling? Where does the ball stop rolling? Do we stop it right now and OTS stores are just safe and that's it? They're just safe? Or is there something more? Is there something more to this, where it doesn't stop here? Like, eventually OTS stores don't have a choice and they have to adapt to time travel rules, and then Time Wizard is completely phased out. Is that where we're going with this? That's the only question now I think that remains in mind, considering that this is true and it's still true and Time Wizard's offered at the OTS level. That seems to be the general consensus in like Discord and stuff. This seems to be the general consensus still, that this is still true. But now, considering that stores might shift or might adapt to the time travel rules, is that where things are going to be going? Like, we don't see these documents. We don't see what the stores are actually getting for documentation or anything like that. So we don't know if, like, you know, their stores are being encouraged. Like, yeah, if you want to run Time Wizard formats, that's fine, but we really encourage you to really push the time travel format. Like, I don't know if like those documents are actually saying that or not. I don't know if they can legally say that or not. So time will sort of tell. And I really think at this point, with everything I've discussed at this point, the thing that you really need to do is the really only thing that you can do that's in your control is obviously let your voice be heard if you feel any kind of displeasure about it in any forum. It can be on E3's X page. It can be on anybody other's X page. You know, I guess you can write to Konami if you really want to. But really, I feel that the biggest way to show your displeasure is obviously not show up for the YCSs. Don't show up for the regionals. Don't show up for them. Don't do it, because it's like a video game. What's the way you show your displeasure for a video game? You don't buy it. You just don't play it. That's how you do it. That's probably the biggest voice you can possibly have, is just don't go to these time travel events. Don't participate in them. Make your voice heard. Show Konami that you don't want to do this. So I think that's really what I really have to say about this. I hope stores don't get hurt too much by this at all, ever. I hope that they will continue to be able to do Time Wizard format tournaments, which again, it sounds like that this is the case. I think the other really big thing you can do here, outside of making your voice be heard, check with your locals. If you have a locals near you that does Edison stuff, check with your locals, see what they can do, see what they're willing to do to help. Or if they're willing to do anything with this Time Wizard stuff. They might not be able to do anything. Their hands might be tied. If they feel that they need to change to the time travel format, and you should be respectful of their decision, as they will probably be respected of your decision if you decide not wanting to go to those locals anymore. I definitely think you should check with your locals, though. I'm checking on one later today, and I'm checking on one, I think, later this week to see just how they're kind of doing things, if they're doing anything different. General consensus at the stores I have around me is that no one really wants to do it. No one wants to do it. No one wants any part of it. They just want to be able to play the game like it was back at that time period. So for me personally, seeing this, I'm shocked, but I'm not surprised. But I'm also, it doesn't make me like happy either. Like, I'm not happy to see this because, like I said, there is that fear of the unknown of how far is this going to go? How far is this going to go? Is this the end? Is this the end of this stuff now? Can we finally just put this behind us? We understand that Ultimate Time Wizard's dead. Is that it? That's so like I'm already a little upset about it. Like, I'm not happy about it. I don't really know if I want to label an emotion to it, but I'm obviously not happy about this. This isn't something to be happy-go-lucky for, even though it was expected, and it's not surprising. Or it's not, it's not surprising. I was shocked, but it wasn't surprising. That brings me to my next thing, though, that made me even more upset. So there was a YouTube video posted by a Max Immature Zarin. He's got over 11,000 subscribers, so he's definitely well known with Yu-Gi-Oh! In the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community, who actually did go to nationals and was trying to play in the hat format giant card, win a card, Attack of the Giant Card tournament. And from what I understand from this video, there are so many things that go wrong with this tournament. There are so many things that go wrong with this tournament from the get-go, like before it even gets started. So the card that was promoted on the the NAWCQ page was for the Attack of the Giant card was supposed to be an Exciton Knight, which makes so much sense. It makes way too much sense because with Exciton Knight, it's a very symbolic card for hat format. It's very purposeful. It makes a lot of sense. So to me, it just makes sense. Great, fantastic. That's a great card. It's a great card for a great purpose. I think it's fantastic. Apparently, Max, I'm just gonna call him Max. Max over on Friday, is either Friday or Saturday, discovered that, I think he said on Friday, he discovered that the giant card, the Exciton never made it. So they weren't going to be giving out an Exciton because there was something wrong with Konami getting it there in time. He said that they wouldn't be able to get it there. And because they couldn't, they were going to give out a different card. The card was going to be a Dark End Dragon. Well, Dark End Dragon's more for Dark End Dragon's really more for Edison format. That's not really for hat format. That's weird. But like, okay, it's a giant card, like whatever, I guess, right? Or maybe it was supposed to be Pot of Greed. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be Pot of Greed instead of Dark End Dragon. And it's a nostalgic card, but like it's not nostalgic for hat format. So like whatever, like blow it off. At the end of Saturday, Max decided to go to judges and ask him about certain card rulings about like a laundry list of cards. It was like 15 or 20 cards, I think, just making sure that like this is how the rulings are going to work for Sunday's tournament, and et cetera, to like be absolutely sure, and he can share it with his peers or share it with friends or share it with other players that like, you guys don't have to worry. This is how the tournament's going to be. So I feel like he's looking out for people, which is fantastic. Sunday morning, everybody who's in this Attack of the Giant card tournament, like having issues submitting their deck lists because they want to play Geargia, and Geargia at this time in hat format had Geargia Gear, which is a trap card that lets you special summon 2 level 3 Geargias, I think, from the deck. And people are having trouble submitting their deck list because you can only have 1 Geargia Gear in your deck. Well, that doesn't make any sense because in hat format, which is advertised for this event. It was advertised as April 2014. You could have 3 copies of Gear, but they were only able to put 1 copy in their deck to submit their deck list. So that seemed a little odd at first. So everybody sits down for this tournament, gets ready to get started, and this is where like the roof gets completely blown off. So they changed the rules. They changed everything right before players could get started, and no one could update their deck lists. They changed the format. Instead of being April 2014, it was July 2014, which means that Gear was to 1, and there were a couple other hits. In addition to that someone brought up that I didn't even think about, there was a structure deck, or there was the Pendulum starter deck that was available, so you could actually play Pendulums if you wanted to. Supply Squad would have been legal, which is a pretty big card at the time. In addition to that, they also changed the rules right as things were getting started. They changed the rules, so instead of being able to, like, they changed it basically to time. They basically changed it to time travel. They changed it from time wizard to time travel as soon as everyone took their seats and they started playing. And again, no one has had the ability to change their deck lists to update to that. Everyone was kind of was working with the draw 5 rule instead of drawing for your first turn. No one was doing that either. It was, from what I understand, just complete and utter bullshit. And I apologize for my French, but you can't just do that. You can't just do that. You can't do that to your players. Like, there's just so many things wrong with that. There's so many things wrong with that on a communication level, being transparent with your community and your player base, to just up and change the rules all of a sudden. It's I'm a total loss for words, actually. It's almost midnight and you can kind of tell on my screen. I don't even know what to say about that. I don't really even know what to say about that. To me, with everything that's been going on, the fact that I've made a second video on this, which I don't even really make that much content, the fact that I actually took the time to make a second video on this topic, going over everything that's kind of been going on here since Nationals weekend, which I wasn't there for, but hearing how players experience this were, especially with this, sorry about the girl with the cheeks there, along with the changes that we're seeing on the store level, where they're getting these emails about potentially time travel format changes to their local stores, which again, it doesn't sound like they have to abide to according to this, but who knows? Considering the fear of the unknown and considering everything that went on at Nationals for the hat format, Attack of the Giant card, I'm really frustrated at this point with this entire situation, and it just leaves me with 2 questions. What the F, and what are we doing? What are we doing here, Konami? What are we doing? I don't know. I don't get it. What are we doing? What's the end game on this? What are we doing? This is what I'm saying here, and I said this on my last video too. This still leaves room for interpretation. This is still not clear. This is not clear. This is not transparent. This leaves so much more room to have the door open to do whatever you want. You can go down to the OTS store level, even though you say here that it can be offered. You can choose to do that. You could choose to remove this at any given point you want, and just ruin the locals for a lot of people that have come back to this game that want to enjoy it for what it was. I don't know if that will ever happen, but the fact that the opportunity remains there and is possible worries me a lot. It worries me a lot more now, considering the disorganization and the lack of transparency and communication with this event, coupled with the fact that this is now happening and this is now a thing with tier 2 plus events. So where I'm going to really leave this at this point is, where am I going from here, and where should you go from here? That's where I'll kind of leave this, and I'll start with myself, because to end it with me just doesn't make sense. So where I'm going to be leaving this with for me, like what I take away from this is, of course, I need to check my local stores, see what they're doing, see what they're up to, and see what they're going to be doing going forward. That's the first thing I really want to take a look at and I really want to see. The next thing the next part about this is kind of, it's my own personal thing. It's my own personal opinion. It's my own personal choices. I completely understand that, and you are free to make your own. Because I've been big into the retro formats lately, mostly Go format and Edison still. I've really got into the Retro Pack 1 reprint last year, where I bought a crap ton of Retro Pack 1, a ton of it, have a master set, the whole 9 yards. And when Retro Pack 2 was announced a few months ago, I was like, great, fantastic, kind of knew that was coming, probably going to pick up a ton of that set too. And right now I have, I think, 14 of the 4-pack boxes pre-ordered right now between Target and Walmart. I'm actually like 95% sure I'm going to cancel those pre-orders. I'm not necessarily boycotting Konami, but I'm not giving this company any more. I'm not giving this company any more of my money. I will buy single cards from people. I will buy the whole Retro Pack 2, I'll buy the whole Retro Pack 2 set single-handedly, and I'll probably get shafted for doing it because it might cost me more money. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'm not actually sure yet. But I'm just going to do that because I'm not giving this company any more of a satisfaction that it already has by making really stupid decisions like this, and really just unthoughtful decisions, or at least it feels like they're very unthoughtful decisions to try and try to satisfy more of a player base or their own wallet. I'm just not going to do it. But that's my own personal vendetta. That's my own personal thing. I'm just going to do that from now on. I'll buy cards single-handedly from sellers, and I'll support those stores that are trying to make it, given everything that's going on. That's where I'm going to stick my money. I'm not going to do this. I'm not doing this anymore. We spend so much time. We play these old formats. We play these old formats to avoid updates like this, so that way we can just do our thing. It's so easy it's so difficult when you, as an adult, to keep up with an entire card game. It's so hard to do that, like keeping up with all of the changes to the game, keeping up with game mechanics, keeping up with card text, keeping up with ban lists. It's so hard to keep up with all of that. Not necessarily to the point of a full-time job, but like if I want to go do something else, like if I want to go play a video game and put some time into that, if I want to read a book, whatever, I can't really do that. I got to spend so much time doing whatever with this card game because there's so much going on, that it made the retro formats perfect, because you don't have to worry about a ban list. You don't have to worry about an addition or a subtraction to the card pool. The card pool is the exact same. All the rules are the exact same. You know what's the most time consuming thing? Deck building. And that's the fun of it. That's the fun of the retro formats. Even in Go format, which I understand for a lot of people, there's not a lot of it out there. There's not a lot of deck building out there. There is deck building out there. You can actually deck build. But like the fact that you can actually do that and actually just have fun with it, like that's where the fun is in deck building. There's not a whole lot of that. There's not a whole lot of that you're really going to be getting with these new rules, because so many of the things change that now there's going to be power creep. And in addition to that, that's a whole nother topic. But really the big thing that comes from it is that adjusting to modern rules means, as a retro player that wants to play with the modern rules, I have to keep up with the modern rules. I don't have to keep up with the rules right now in Edison or in Goat format or in Tengu Plant or in Redo format. I don't have to keep up with the rules. I don't have to do that. It's all the same rules and they don't change. So the fact that, like, we have to do that, this is the reason why we don't play the modern format in the first place. It's the reason why we don't do it, because it's just we don't want to spend all that time doing it. So personally for me, I'm not going to play time travel. I'm probably not going to stick another dime with Konami. I'm just not going to do it. Like, to hell with it. No, it's not happening. I do think though that what other players should do, if you're watching this, what I think you should do is, like I said before, make your voice heard in any possible way you can. Don't give Konami any money. Don't show up to their events. I think giving them money is kind of it's a hard advice thing to say, because I mean, people boycott like Target, and it's like, it's kind of hard to avoid. It's kind of hard to avoid a general convenience store. Like, sure, there are other general convenience stores, but if you decide to boycott them too, what are you doing with yourself? Like, where are you going to go? So like, I do understand that boycotting by not spending money is a hard thing to do. But like, I'm certainly going to do it with, I'm probably going to do it with Konami's products, including ones where like, I think it's super cool. I actually want a ton. I want so much Retro Pack 2. I want a ton of Retro Pack 2. Probably not going to get any. Does that mean you should or shouldn't? That's up to you. But I definitely think if you want your voice heard, the best thing that you can possibly do, you do not show up to their events. You do not show up to their regionals. You do not show up to their YCSs. You're going to do it because you're going to play Modern. Fine. I get it. That makes sense. But if you're a Time Wizard player, strictly a Time Wizard player, and you want to make your voice heard, the best thing to do is not show up. Do not show up for their events. Don't be a number to them. Don't be that 201st player. Don't be that 301st player. Be one person less. That's all we can do. It's a hard thing to say. It sounds like it's a uphill battle, and it kind of is, but that's the best that you can really do. Otherwise, like I said, I would check with your local stores and double check and see what they're doing for time travel and Time Wizard formats, how they're going to work things out. I sincerely think that's probably the first place for yourself to start is through that. Support your stores in any possible, support your stores in almost any possible way that you still can if you want to. If they're hosting the Time Wizard formats, they're definitely keeping it alive. They're hearing their players more than Konami is right now. So I certainly think that, like I said, check in with your locals. Don't go to regionals or YCSs anymore. I think that's your best. I think that's your best plan for attack. I think that's the best thing that you can possibly do. And that is considering that this is true, this information from this post is true, and considering the information we've gotten now from how a tournament was ran at Nationals, which was a dumpster fire from what I understand. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hanging out. And if you have anything that you would like to add below, go ahead and throw it down there. This is going to be completely unedited. I don't have really the time to edit it right now. And it's, like I said, it's just sad. It just stinks. It's expected. It's not surprising. It's definitely shocking. And I'm upset about it, considering that this tournament was ran so poorly. And the communication and transparency was at an all-time low. I'm ready to throw in the towel, man. I get enough crap being a Nintendo. I don't get the crap myself being a Nintendo fan, but Nintendo fans definitely get crapped onto with some of the things that they get dealt with in terms of like Smash tournament organizing has gotten its not necessarily fair shake with stuff like this, in addition to other things too. So like I said, if you have anything you would like to add below, anything that you did or didn't like about the video, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, like the video, subscribe if you have not yet. I'll try to be making some GOAT format content going forward, maybe Edison every once in a while, but definitely want to gear towards more GOAT formats. So if you're into GOAT format and Edison format too, give me subscribe to the channel, completely free. I don't think there should be any ads, at least as of right now, so it would totally help out the channel. Thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you next time.